This could be the most significant video I've ever done for this channel. The United States ultimately passed its first formal crypto law on July 18, 2025. Crypto is no longer under attack after years of delays, lawsuits, and political fighting. Take a moment to let that sink in. Regulation is no longer a problem. Now it's a tailwind. The CEO of Coinbase just said something shocking. Fortune 500 organizations are getting ready to use stablecoins. But that's not everything. Ross Lasko from the IMF stood next to Brad Gollinghouse on stage in 2017 and remarked that if a country utilizes a digital currency as its own currency, it might be added to the IMF's basket of currencies. Fast forward to now, and that moment is finally coming true. And if you have XRP right now, you have the future. The XRP to Bitcoin chart just showed two important breakout levels. And if they break, we might have a supply shock that no one is ready for. So I'm going to explain everything in this video. What is this new law? What does it really mean? Why institutional adoption is poised to skyrocket and what the exact X2 Bitcoin levels are that might start the next big rise. Stay tuned because by the end of this film, you'll know why this isn't a good time to buy. This is the start of a new era for American crypto. Hello to the people who made the Bullwinkle blueprint. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and if you're back to watch the second video of the day, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It tells YouTube that Rip is the man and pushes the content out, which is how we get viral. Let's get started right now. Bitcoin costs $118,060. Ethereum is currently up 0.64% in the last 24 hours. $3,584, which is up 1.45%. And XRP is still above the all-time high of $3,043. At the moment, it's up 0.14%. The total market cap for cryptocurrencies is $3.86 trillion. That's fair and good. It's about 69 right now. Hey, I'm not complaining about it for a Saturday. I like what I see. I like that XRP is still going strong. Tomorrow is the last day of the week. Listen up. Who remembers Charles Gasparino, the good old days? Always teasing people. Dummies. XRP is worth 52 cents. This must indicate that XRP can't go up or down. So, why is XRP selling for more than $3? Now he's asking, why can't it get to 350? This dude is crazy. I don't know how he still has the show, but it's not as good as it used to be after Ellie Tarrant left to pursue her own thing. And this man, my career is basically going down the drain. That's just how it is, right? Here is Brian Armstrong. Let's take a short picture. The Fortune 500 is likely to start using stablecoins. More and more, even though the news indicated this was likely to happen soon. We've already started to witness this a little bit. For example, Coinbase just added support for Shopify. We've heard from Walmart and Amazon. And now practically every Fortune 500 corporation is looking into solid coin payments. So this is a great chance for us. Our business is growing in terms of TAM. We believe that we can make these wallets and payment APIs available to the entire financial system and every business in the end. Yes, can we call this a new and growing source of income for Coinbase? If so, how fast does that expand over time? Yes, that's completely true. Trading was the first way we made money. We also have subscriptions and services, which have grown a bigger and bigger component of our income over time. Payments is the next big thing, in my opinion, and this is a common use for crypto every day. For millions of Americans and eventually, individuals all over the world, especially those who do business across borders and in nations where the currency isn't secure. Inflation might be 50% or 100% a year. So they really want the dollar. If they have a smartphone, they can now get to an account that is in dollars. And thus, I think about payments and trading. Okay, everyone, this isn't just a random tweet. This is the CEO of Coinbase, and you need to wake up. When the 500 biggest companies in the US, the big players that determine the world's markets are starting to move toward using stablecoins, this isn't simply another headline about crypto. This is the start of a change in the way money works. Think about it. These businesses aren't just using digital cash to be cool. They're getting ready for a time when blockchain rails are the main way to make payments around the world. And here's the best part. They're not just using any stablecoin, they're looking at totally regulated and clear offering solutions that work with each other. Once that happens, there will be ones that follow US rules and can be plugged straight into enterprise software for payroll, logistics, and even cross-border settlements. This is when crypto goes from being on the edge to being the main thing. Imagine Walmart paying suppliers using stablecoins, Apple employing tokenized payroll, and Amazon giving cash back in stablecoins. This isn't a story anymore. We are currently building the infrastructure. And the Fortune 500 ship is the sign we have been waiting for. We understand this now. I'm not going to play this for the time being, but you can see that the first crypto law was approved on July 18th. This is exactly what we were hoping for. That will take us to this. What occurred in 2017? Let me take you back. Still, a little trip down memory lane here. Don't forget that I'm from the legal department. I'm supposed to be very careful with these kinds of things. I don't want to get into too much detail about what the IMF is going to do. I suppose we shocked Ross into not saying anything. In order for that to happen, some country would have to use a crypto asset as its currency, which is not possible under the current laws. That video will always stick in my mind. I was there when it all started, right? That's a loss. He was the IMF's deputy counsel and stood on stage. I believe we can claim that he sat right next to Brad on stage. He also noted that if a government makes a digital currency its official currency, it might be part of the IMF's basket or reserves. 7 years ago, something happened. A lot of individuals left. That idea wasn't ready for most of the world. But let's go ahead to July 18, 2025. Since it's now official, the first law in the US about cryptocurrency has been passed. There are no more attacks on crypto. The rules are in place. They are putting down the rails. Brad Gallinghouse and the Ripple crew have been working toward this moment for a long time. But here's the thing. XRP is already being tested around the world as a liquidity bridge, not just as a cryptocurrency, but also as the rails for future government-backed digital currencies. Do you think that's just a coincidence? Do you believe the IMF forgot what Ross said? No, this was a soft launch. And now, we single quotes removing to the mainnet for a global financial revolution. This is what they don't want you to know. The SDR basket, which has the dollar, the euro, the yen, the pound, and the yuan, is ready for change. If a country like Palau, Colombia, or El Salvador starts using the XRP ledger to make a digital currency their official money, it becomes IMF. We're talking about the possible tokenization of reserve currencies and what rails are ready. Not Bitcoin, not Solana, only the XRP ledger, which is quick, green, stable, and totally in line with the idea of a digital Bretton Woods. Yes, you heard that right. Let that sink in. Let's take a look at the XRP to Bitcoin chart for a second. This is the most essential graphic in all of cryptocurrency. We are looking at them as your breakout levels. We have 2 of these, and they are relatively close in price. It won't take us long to get through. Your first red box, which you can see below, is between 2,990 and 3,119. That's what Satoshi said. Keep in mind that this number will fluctuate when the price of Bitcoin changes. We are looking at prices between $3.53 and $3.68. XRP will have no trouble rising up to our upper red resistance range once that level is broken. This is between 372 and 388. You should buckle in when 380 breaks, since that's when it's time to find out the price. That's when we see a moonshot, and this thing goes from 4 to 650 in a flash. After that, it cools down a bit, and the following targets are going to be double-digit XRP. This is what I will be paying attention to. XRP's market cap. What happens? Next, we're at a 203 right now. Will we reach a market cap of $1 trillion? Well, I'll tell you this. It all depends. How much money is going into crypto? Are we going to see between 7 and 10 trillion? Will we see a Bitcoin worth $250,000? We can reach a $1 trillion XRP market cap if you say yes to both of those questions. If we only see 4 to 7, we might not have enough and end up with 5 to 750, which would put us in the range of 10 to 15 to 10 to 16. 2 digits XRP looks more and more likely every day, especially with the ETFs that are about to hit the market and the huge amounts of money that are going to go into them. We see the man on these ETFs, and you want to know why. Because the futures ETFs have a crazy amount of demand, and that is all going to move over to the spot ETFs. I'm going to stop there. I hope you had fun. Have a great Saturday. I'll see everyone at the next one.